Operation Arclight was the 1965 deployment of B-52F Stratofortresses as conventional bombers from bases in the U.S. to Guam to support ground combat operations in Vietnam. By the middle of April 1966, all B-52Fs redeployed back to the bases in the U.S. and were replaced by the big belly modified B-52D. Later in the war, the B-52G joined the B-52D. By extension, Arclight, and sometimes Arclight, is the code name and general term for the use of B-52D-F Stratofortress as a close air support platform to support ground tactical operations, assisted by ground control radar detachments of the 1st Combat Evaluation Group in Operation Combat Skyspot during the Vietnam War. At the same time, investigations of secret CIA activities in Laos revealed that B-52s were used to systematically bomb Laos and Cambodia. In fact, the United States dropped more bombs on North Vietnamese Army-occupied eastern Laos than it did during World War II on Germany and Japan combined. To this day, large areas of Laos and Cambodia are still dangerous because of unexploded ordnance. In 1964, the U.S. Air Force began to train strategic bomber crews in the delivery of conventional munitions flying the B-52F. Under Project Big B, all B-52Ds were modified so that they could carry nearly 30 tons of conventional bombs. B-52s were deployed to Andersen Air Force Base on the island of Guam, and Utah Pa Royal Thai Navy Airfield in Thailand. Arclight operations were most often CAS bombing raids of enemy base camps, troops concentrations, and supply lines. The first use of these heavy bombers in Southeast Asia occurred on the 18th of June 1965. Flying out of Andersen Air Force Base, Guam, 27 aircraft used 750 and 1,000-pound bombs to attack a Viet Cong stronghold. During this mission, 2 B-52Fs were lost in a mid-air collision. Another was unable to conduct air refueling. Missions were commonly flown in three-plane formations known as cells, and were also employed when ground units in heavy combat requested fire support. Releasing the bombs from high in the stratosphere, the B-52s could neither be seen nor heard from the ground. B-52s were instrumental in nearly wiping out enemy concentrations besieging Khe San in 1968 and Loc and Kontum in 1972. Arclight was reactivated on Andersen on February 8, 1972 when President Richard Nixon resumed bombing of North Vietnam in an effort to move peace talks along. Over 15,000 men were sent to Andersen on temporary duty over the next 90 days. With limited barracks and other facilities, tents were set up behind for use by men working 80-hour weeks. Arclight missions continued until the cessation of hostilities by all U.S. forces on August 15, 1973. Between June 1965 and August 1973, 126,615 B-52D-F sorties were flown over Southeast Asia. During those operations, the U.S. Air Force lost 31 B-52s, 18 from hostile fire over North Vietnam and 13 from operational causes. The typical full bomber loads were B-52F 36,500 pound and 750 pound. Bombs in a mixed load, or 51,500 pound. Bombs, 27 in the bomb bay and 24 on underwing pylons. B-52D, 108,500 pound bombs, or a mixed load of 64,500 pound. Bombs in the bomb bay and 24,750 pound. Bombs on underwing pylons. B-52G, 27 bombs, all in the bomb bay. No external bombs were carried. Combat Skyspot Memorial. 19 technicians of the 1st Combat Evaluation Group were lost in ground combat. On September 21, 2010, President Barack Obama presented the Medal of Honor to the sons of Chief Master Sergeant Richard L. Etchberger for his actions in the Battle of Lima Site 85. A memorial to all 1CEVG technicians is located directly behind the Arclight Memorial. In popular culture, there is a brief reference to Operation Arclight in the film Apocalypse Now by the character Captain Willard, played by Martin Sheen. As the riverboat carrying Willard is moving up the coast to rendezvous with the air cavalry escort, they hear the rumble of a B-52 strike in the distance. When the character Chief asks what's going on, Willard replies, "Arclight B-52 strike." The character Mr. Clean explains, "Arclight, Charlie, don't never see M hear M, but it'll suck the air out of your damn lungs." The phrase was used as the title of Eric L. Harry's military techno-thriller, Arclight, in the video game Men of Valor. While at a besieged Khe-San, Dean and Hoss are informed that Dean's brother Jamie's squad is being overrun by NVA regulars and that they just called in an Arclight on their own position. Later, after safely returning to Khe-San, the Marines witness a B-52 strike up close. In the video game Call of Duty: Black Ops, an Arclight strike occurs on the NVA troops at the end of the level SOG.